Welcome in, welcome on, and welcome to another edition of the Direct Rewind here on the Direct Podcast. Everything you need to know about the universes you love. I'm your host, Matt Roembke, and I'm joined as always by my friend, co-host, box office correspondent, senior editor at thedirect.com, Mr. David Thompson. David, welcome to Fantastic Four Week.
I am feeling fantastic. I'm so happy to be here, man, discussing this movie, which I have so much nostalgia for. This movie for me just oozes nostalgia. And there's Jessica Alba too, which I can't wait to talk about today. Matt, what's up? How you doing? Welcome to Fantastic Four Week.
Yeah, it's exciting. I do like Jessica Alba quite a bit. Um, I love that we're talking about this movie ahead of the new Fantastic Four First Steps. I have a lot of information about the Fantastic Four movie franchise. Look out for a video on Screen Rant breaking that down even more, if you're so inclined. But we're very excited to talk about this movie specifically, Fantastic Four 2005, right here on the Direct Podcast, the Direct Rewind. And later this week, we will have the Fantastic Four First Steps, first movie of Phase 6 of the MCU. Long awaited, very exciting. But David, before we get into that, let's get into this. Fantastic Four 2005, your starting lineup. A very short one today because there's not a lot of characters in this movie.
It's good stuff.
Ioan Gruffudd as Reed Richards, Michael Chiklis as Ben Grimm, the Thing, Jessica Alba as Sue Storm, Chris Evans as Johnny Storm, the late great Julian McMahon, R.I.P., as Victor Von Doom, and Kerry Washington as Alicia Masters.
That's right.
Kerry Washington getting
Yeah.
in here, an iconic comic role. Good stuff for Kerry Washington in '05. Directed by Tim Story, written by Mark Frost, Michael France, characters by Stan Lee. I did not get the composer. Looking that up now. Bear with me. Bear with me. Bear with me. So many more characters than I thought. John Ottman composed this thing.
I
John
like the
Ottman,
music.
also known Bohemian Rhapsody, The Nice Guys,
Oh,
very
Superman
underrated movie.
Returns, of course.
Superman Returns, of
Right,
course,
right
of
in, right
course,
in this
right
wheelhouse.
in this era. Yeah.
X-Men
That is
movies.
your starting lineup. David Thompson. Let's head to Rotten Tomatoes for Fantastic Four 2005. Remember, we are using Rotten Tomatoes as our baseline for what the critics and audience felt about this movie. We totally understand Rotten Tomatoes is an imperfect system, but it is the gate for general audiences on if they will or will not see a movie. So we refer to it as such. David Thompson, your Rotten Tomatoes score for Fantastic Four 2005. Critics give it a 27%. Audiences, 45. So a 12-point swing. No, I'm
Hilarious.
sorry. Yeah, a 12-point. Wait. No,
Oh,
that's a.
what was
How am I not getting this number right? 18. An 18-point swing. Sorry, math. 18-point
it?
swing, but audiences at 45, not much better. Here we are. Overall thoughts in the box score 27-45. David Thompson, where do you fall on that scale?
Oh man, way higher. I think this movie's so good. I love this film. And like I said to open, like a
And
ton of nostalgia. I really just like have so many fond memories of watching this growing up as a kid. More memories of this by far than the X-Men movies, which is kind of funny to me. But I guess I don't know why. For whatever reason, like this movie specifically, even Silver Surfer, we just like had, I guess, DVD kind of a thing. But this was more in my wheelhouse. Like I said, as a child growing up, and I'll be honest, like on rewatch, I've seen this a few times in adulthood. You know, it's pretty goofy, campy, silly, little wacky. I really like this movie still. So
good time.
it's definitely way higher than 45%, way higher than 27%. It's just that's just being mean, I think. Like that seems a little harsh to me. So like if I had to put a percentage on it, high 60s, low 70s, something like that. Like fun
Wow.
popcorn flick. Yeah, I don't think it's that crazy. Like, and one thing, Matt, I will say on watching, I don't think the movie's trying to do too much, be too much. It's not that long. Like it's not like we go back and listen to our Superman Returns conversation. Same era. A movie that tries to be too much. A movie that tries to be this and that. Take itself too seriously and is 45, 50 minutes longer than this movie. And is terrible because of it. Like I hate that film actively. This movie I love, and it's not. I'm not saying it's auteur like art, or does it even stand the test of time compared to 3 years later Iron Man, and then we get off running and we're, not even close to The Dark Knight, and even compared to some of the X-Men movies that we've discussed of that era. X2 especially, I would say, like, is much like just a better movie. Spider-Man, of course. Like totally different like wavelength in my head during that time. So yeah, it's interesting, but yeah, I definitely am higher on this movie, and I'm curious your thoughts.
Yeah, another movie of this era that is a fun little litmus test. 3 weeks before this movie came out, Batman Begins.
Wow.
Totally different shelf. Totally different
Yeah.
shelf at the liquor store, my guy.
I wonder if that was a narrative at the time, like why the box or not the box office. Box office wasn't great either, but I wonder the critic score is so low. I get why it's low, but it's
So
like comparing those two is like apples and oranges, but on even a higher level.
we have to remember the times too, right? The best comic book movie of this era is Spider-Man 2, which iconic, one of the most important comic book movies of the era, but it's not like comic book 2 is not Iron Man, it's not The Dark Knight, it's still a early 2000s campy-ish comic book movie. So,
Yeah.
the comic book movie genre had not boomed yet. We didn't get Iron Man yet. We didn't get The Dark Knight. That's when this wave really started happening. That's when these things started to be taken a little bit more seriously. Is
Yeah.
after Iron Man, The Dark Knight. That's why 2008 is the BC of comic book movies. Um,
Yeah.
our
BBY.
seven out of our yeah, Andor underrated as fuck. Um, our 7 out of 7 rule that we talk about with a lot of these fun popcorn movies, right? This movie I think applies, but this is more of a 6 out of 7 for me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's definitely not trying to
That's
do too
funny.
much, which I think is
Yeah.
one of the biggest credits to this movie is not trying to do too much. But one of the biggest discredits to this movie, it's also it didn't really try to do anything. You know,
Right.
being funny was the most important thing of this movie. I feel like in a lot of ways, and it doesn't do a great job at that. There are moments. There's definitely fun things about this movie,
Yeah.
but 6 out of 7 is more where I fall into this.
I think that's makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Now, all that being said, you hit the nail on the head. Hour 45, 45 minutes less than Superman Returns. It is just trying to be a fun little popcorn flick. And it has a lot of fun popcorn flick stuff to it. I also love this movie. I understand it's not great, but man, is it a good time. And my hot take for Fantastic Four 2005, and it's been my hot take for a while. This would fit really well into phase one of the MCU had it come out just a couple years later. You know what I mean? Had this movie specifically come out 2007, 2008 and been a part of the MCU phase one, I think it really could have like stuck in a Fantastic Four 2 within the MCU could have happened in a much better way. Think about the Incredible Hulk that also came out in 2008 with Iron Man. 3 months later. I understand that release schedule so much because in Iron Man they took a big swing, big risk. This is a completely different comic book movie than anybody's ever seen before.
Right.
To hedge some of that risk, they made the Incredible Hulk, which is much more in line with this movie, much more basic, streamlined, play it safe, early 2000s comic book movie, or I guess 2000s comic book movie at that time.
Yeah.
Had this been there instead of Incredible Hulk, I think it would have gotten a better reception.
Yeah.
Because I think quality is on the same level, but this is more fun.
Yeah.
And the characters are also a little bit more engaging and dynamic and somebody you want to watch. Now, sliding doors moment, we never get Chris Evans as Captain America. We got Krasinski as Captain America instead. Everything changes. Step on a butterfly, the multiverse, what if, all that stuff.
Quickly though on this. So this movie is worse than Iron Man, better than The Incredible Hulk,
Yeah.
better than Iron Man 2. I'd say
So
so.
that's
Maybe. Ah,
I like Iron Man 2 quite a bit.
okay.
I think Iron Man 2,
Sam Rockwell, you know.
Sam Rockwell, also just all the world building in Iron Man 2, I think is so underrated. It's
Yeah.
it's it's heavy-handed, but man, is it good.
Yeah.
Um,
Peter Parker's in it.
I think Elon Musk is in it. I think that Iron Man 2 is better than this movie, but
Yeah.
not by like leaps and bounds.
Right.
I think they're in similar tiers. Whereas as soon as you get past, I think this is better than Thor.
Okay. I was gonna
I
say
think this is
Thor.
it's definitely better than the Incredible Hulk, right?
Captain America? Probably not.
No, no.
And of course not the
That's
Avengers.
of course not. But
So
yeah, man,
yeah,
that's I
I
guess
mean in
that's my
that
hot take.
mix.
This if it was this instead of the Incredible Hulk in '08, I think the Fantastic Four would have had more of a place in the MCU, and the right situation was similar.
And this movie would have been better received.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. If Nick Fury shows up at the end of this thing, or Tony
I
Stark shows up
yeah,
at the end of this thing.
I agree with that.
Um,
I agree with that.
yeah, but let's dive in a little deeper. Let's get into wow, I've completely forgotten our review format. Just right here off the top of my head.
Well,
Uh
we've kind of done our overall thoughts. Well, we did the overall thoughts because we started off with Rotten Tomatoes.
We
And now we
definitely
can
did.
do the
I am
film
so
room.
sorry, guys. I bought Odyssey tickets on Reddit this morning. So my
On
my
Reddit. You
whole
bought them on
day
Reddit.
my absolutely I bought them on Reddit for
How does that
only
work?
30 bucks. For only I somebody was selling them and I took them for only 30 bucks a
Oh.
pop too. Only $5 more than what they're usually
Oh.
for. So that's interesting. So I've pulled up the review rundown here. Let's get into the film room. Let's dive in. Let's look at the film. Let's break it down. David Thompson, after watching this movie as an adult, as a married man,
True.
what is your biggest takeaway? What is the one thing, character, or decision that impacted this movie the most?
You nailed it. You said Thing. Michael Chiklis as the Thing. I
Hey!
absolutely I love the Thing and I like the way the Thing looks. I don't care. It's I think he looks great. Like I love there's something about this movie like because he's not CGI. It's so funny, Matt. The other three are so CGI when using their
Yeah.
powers. Yet the Thing, this giant rock, is the one
Mhm.
thing that's practical. Um, and I really like Michael Chiklis in the role. That kind of goes into my bigger overall thought. It's just that like I really like the casting of this movie, which I think might be a
Yeah.
hot take. I
Well,
it's it's a comfort movie to me, and I think it's
mhm.
because of these dynamics and because of these characters. One dynamic is really bad. It's like, oh man, this movie sucks. But all the other like connections work really well. I actually really like Alba and Evans as siblings. I like the relationship that we get with Ben Grimm and Johnny Storm, very classic. And I also
Yep.
really buy that Mr. Fantastic, Reed and Ben are like we open the movie with them. And I really feel like I get the sense like they have been friends for a long time. There's
Sure.
some other elements that I'm like, I don't buy that this happened in the past or that happened in the past or all these things. But I really like the casting and I think the biggest win to me is Chiklis as the Thing, honestly. I really, really enjoy his performance. And like I remember that was the one like he's funny. Every he's
Mhm.
got a great comedic timing. Like I really like the I liked his character design, honestly. Which I don't think everyone does, but I honestly really do. Takes me back to a different time. And yeah, so I guess overall, like casting would be the main takeaway.
There's a charm to it, right? The prosthetics, the fact that he's in the suit, there is a
And it
charm
looks good, I
to
think.
that. I think it looks good too. It's that thing where like Star Wars effects, do they quote unquote hold up compared to today effects? No. But they are practical and there's a charm to that.
Yeah,
There's a something you can touch with that,
exactly.
as opposed to something like the prequels, which was trying to do so much CGI that it just ends up looking bad, right? They couldn't do a full CGI the thing in this movie. And if you don't believe me, Eric Bana's Hulk movie, it's not great. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's just not great. It's the consistency of size with those big hulking CGI characters that really just doesn't play. And you watch that Hulk movie, he's a completely different size every time there's a new scene, right? And
Yeah.
it's just hard to pull over. And I do think that movie, '03, impacted their decision to have Chiklis in the suit and go practical. You know what I mean? They took the bet, and I feel like they paid out. There's definitely a charm. It's iconic
This
as well.
movie's way worse if he's CGI. Way
I
worse.
think so too.
It's not
I
even the
think I
Hulk too. Like you don't Hulk out. You don't thing out, right? Like
right.
you're just
He's just there,
consistently, yeah.
even though
I mean,
they
we
did
do
give Chiklis his time. They gave
yeah.
Chiklis his time.
Momentarily.
And I'll say even further to the thing. My stepdad, who I think has a pretty base level movie appreciation. You know what I mean? He takes what it is and moves on to the next thing, right?
Sure.
I was talking to him last weekend. He was looking at this new Fantastic Four movie. He's like, oh, the thing looks terrible. It's nothing like Chiklis. He
Yeah.
doesn't know what the thing looks like in comics. He doesn't know what the thing's supposed to look like for fans of the Fantastic Four. That's fine.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
But he still remembers Chiklis as the thing. It's an iconic part of this movie. Good, bad, and different. It stands out, and it doesn't kill the movie.
Absolutely not.
There's other things that kill this movie.
There is.
Um,
There are reasons why there's a 27% or whatever it is in Rotten
there's
Tomatoes.
two of them specifically. And we'll talk about that. But can't believe he didn't take it. My thing that impacted this movie the most is Chris Evans as Johnny Storm.
Okay.
I mean, what an all-star showing for Chris Evans here. One, completely different human being 6 years later. Just a completely different guy. He is able to play this and Steve Rogers so well, and they're so opposite. This is the Chris Evans I grew up with, not another teen movie. That comic book movie he was in. That's hilarious. But like this is the Chris Evans I knew growing up. Before he got that, this is the reason, and other movies like it, where when he got Captain America, everybody was like, "What?
What? Yeah.
How? How?" Right? And it's the corn sweat thing again. Oh, he's just not big enough. Well, you know, the mouse pays. The mouse pays to get you a lot bigger, right?
Yeah.
He is so good in this movie, man. He's funny. He's actually got like an interesting character arc's a tough one just because he's pretty one note, but like his opposition to the other parts of the team where they don't want to be famous, they want to figure it out first. They don't want to,
he's
push
the one,
it forward.
not adult one. Yeah.
He's got a great line. I don't want to be normal.
Yeah.
You guys are trying to get us back to normal. I like this. This is fun. And this movie, something I noticed last time, the biggest bulk of this movie is not about them versus Doom or the conflict or them even getting their powers. The bulk of this movie is about them learning their powers and dealing with the celebrity that comes with it.
And trying to reverse them. That's like most of the plot.
That's the chunk of this movie.
Yeah.
Is the powers, learning and reversing, and also the whole celebrity thing. Every time Sue Storm has to go invisible, people are chasing me again. I gotta go invisible here.
Yeah.
Reed doesn't
the powers. Yeah.
Right. Reed doesn't want to talk to cameras. Doom is pissed off that they're getting all of this shine. Larry King canceled.
Yeah.
So bigger story came up.
Right.
All that.
Magazine
right?
posters and all that.
Yeah. And so like that's the chunk of this movie, and Johnny Storm plays within that really well.
Yes.
I think that
X Games.
Without Chris Evans as Johnny Storm, oh man, dude, the SSX of it all. Incredible. Who the hell is this guy? Who the hell is this guy? Out of nowhere, right? Why was he even in NASA? No one knows.
It's a pilot.
Yeah, it's really great.
Pilot.
It's really, really great. And the Johnny Storm scenes in this movie alone really hold this thing up, I think, the way it needs to. The Chiklis stuff, I think, is iconic. Like we said, there's a charm to it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't personally think that Chiklis like elevates this movie in any sort of way. But it doesn't drag it down, and it's like kids in movies. As long as it doesn't drag it down, it's a win. Right?
I think the thing that I really landed on, bringing up the thing is like if it was CGI,
right,
the movie would be ruined. Like I genuinely think because it would look so bad at that time, it would look terrible, and it all works. Like, and on the Human Torch, I like how the way the Human Torch looks.
Wonderful,
like, good CGI. I think the best of the bunch. Yeah, like everything with that, and then like it's funny you nailed it. Like growing up, I remember my brother, who's not into this stuff at all, but when he saw he was cast as Captain America, he's like, I'm not watching that movie. Like, and he's like, I'm like, what? And he's like, that's like, he's supposed to be cool. He's supposed to be Human Torch. Like, even to this day, he'd be like, yeah, like Chris Evans, like that's the guy I like, is him in this movie. Because honestly, I was 7 when this movie came out. Like, Johnny Storm is cool. That is literally like the definition of cool, is
Undoubtedly.
that character in this movie. And honestly, like, growing up psychologically, like what I would view as cool is this character, like
Right.
genuinely. And they knew that. And this movie is so kid friendly, in my opinion, like incredibly kid friendly.
For
Um,
sure.
it's why I think I really enjoyed it growing up. It's not dark. Even the villain is just very cartoony. And even I do remember being a little freaked out of when Doom first blasts that guy and he makes a hole in
Sure.
his face, or a hole in his like torso, and be like, whoa. But like,
The Knuckles.
yeah, the
The
Knuckles.
Knuckles part was cool.
I mean, we haven't talked about Doom at all. But it's funny because as a kid, I'm like, man, this villain's awesome. Like, he's so scary and cool, and like I love the like
Mhm.
metallic electricity abilities. And then you like read a couple comic books and watch a couple cartoons, and you're like, oh, Doctor Doom's probably should be a little bit better than
Right.
portrayed in this movie. But within the film, it all kind of works, Like, I think that's the thing, and it goes to what I think you said, like your father-in-law was saying, like it doesn't look like Chiklis. I feel like for a lot of people, for right or for wrong, this is the Fantastic Four. Like
Right.
this '05 version where it's not really the comic story. It is and it isn't. But they really like, it's interesting because for me, because we're in 2025, this new movie going back to this retro futuristic '60s style from the original comics feels less nostalgic and more foreign than the nostalgia of this story being set in the early 2000s, because
Sure.
this story looking back is so 2005.
Right.
Like, you look at the advertisements, what they're
Hmm.
wearing, the CGI, like, it's funny because back then that was them trying to be so modern. This is trying to
Sure.
make the Fantastic Four so
It
oozing with
was.
like sleek, and it is.
Yeah.
And at the time it was. But what's fascinating about watching it 20 years later is how nostalgic and old it feels now. But
Hmm.
I mean it in a positive way. Where like,
We're getting old.
yeah, it's like I have that nostalgia for this styling, where that to me, like, it trying to be sleek and cool in '05 now feels so like days of like those days are just so far gone. Where, and then 60 years ago, kind of what they're trying to resemble with this new movie, I just don't even recognize that. That's just like, it's just the Jetsons to me. But it's just
Yeah.
fascinating, it really is. And it's like, we have one, in my opinion, like modern Fantastic Four take, which is 2015, and that movie's an abomination. Like,
We'll get to that here shortly.
yeah,
Um, and I think you make all good points. I think that the CGI in this movie specifically plays a lot like kids in TV, kids in movies, where as long as it's not taking the movie down, it's a win. And anything on that cherry on top. I think everybody's powers look pretty awesome in
yeah,
this.
uh,
The Miss Fantastic stuff, it's the most CGI. What are you gonna do?
rubbery, yeah,
Right? I and you talk about the campiness, you talk about this, being the origin of it all. Like, they make such a point, right? Oh, Reed, always trying to stretch yourself too thin.
yeah.
Johnny, he's a hothead. Ben, he's tough as nails. Tough skin. Ben Grimm, he's got tough skin. Sue, always invisible. Always in the background. Of course, right? Like
I love it.
the script sucks, and that's fine,
It's
and
so
and
cheesy.
that's fine. It's a sitcom script, and that's what really takes this movie down. That's why critics gave it a 27.
Yeah, it's not like, it's a great point.
Right.
It's not well written. Even the story itself
At
is
all.
super silly.
There is no story. They get their powers. They try to figure it out. They fight Doom at the end. When
Doom
Doom
gets
takes
pissed.
when
Yeah,
Doom takes Reed and does the full heel turn, there's 20 minutes left in the movie.
yeah, and it flies by.
Like there's not, and the third act I think plays. It's very cool the way Reed uses his powers at the end. Johnny coming in at the final second. Everything that they do, it's very cool. None of it's earned. And
No.
that's what the comic book movies were in the early 2000s. They didn't care about it being earned, they cared about it being cool.
Yeah. It's
And
also
I
like,
think
sorry. I was gonna say it's also like one of those like at this time too, we loved an origin story. They always did an origin story, and like
mhm,
it wasn't rare to get them in their suits fighting together for the first time at the very end of a movie.
sure.
Like, and that's how this was. We have the bridge scene, which is like the midway point, like action sequence. But in modern day, they'd probably fight Doom twice. But in this movie, like Victor doesn't even, he isn't like a real bad guy, honestly. Like he's a dick. He's like this
Yeah.
like,
He's a tech dick. That's all
yeah,
he is.
tech dick. He doesn't become like a villain until the very end of the film when he just goes full, like you said, heel turn and embraces the darkness, kind of has that realization of like, you know what? My company's going under. I've been touched by the gods. I'm just going to embrace my destiny. And it's like, all right, okay,
Right.
Vic, cool. Like what?
Yeah.
What does that even
Chill the
mean?
fuck out.
And then all he's trying to do is just take out the other ones. He just tries to then kill the other four, and he had the classic one down, three to go, two down, two
Right.
to go. Like
It's
it's
all pretty
so
cool.
funny.
It's
Yeah,
all
I mean,
pretty cool.
and I like the mask. I think it looks cool. I like the part
Yeah.
where he's like Marco Polo. I like that
Stupid.
part.
I mean, hell, dude. Let's get into top plays right here, right now. When Ben angles the fire hydrant at Reed, and Reed makes a slide to push it right at fucking Vic. Come on. I mean, that's
How is the water
that's
pressure that high?
red light, green light, dude. He used physics. What are you talking about? He used physics to make sure that it built up kinetic energy within him to
Yeah,
shoot at. You didn't see him in the whole twisty deal. Come
I
on,
I
man. It's
saw
Reed
it.
Richards.
Chemistry 101.
Yeah. Oh, come on. It's great. It's great what happens to rubber when it freezes. You know what happens to a toad when it's struck by lightning? Same thing that happens to everything else. See, these movies were just different, man. They were just different. More top plays. Alba, her first invisible scene in the underwear, hilarious. It's still funny. It's still funny. You know how pissed off she gets. Wow, you've been working out. Um,
So
not
funny.
top play.
Oh, I have
Alba's
the best.
too Alba's too hot for this to play this like insecure in the shadows kind of woman here.
Yeah,
Like she
she's so
Sue,
hot.
she is so hot. Sue Storm should be more confident in comics. That's a comic book thing. Sue Storm is a confident leader of this team. Reed is the strategist. Sue's the leader. That's how it goes.
Yeah.
And Sue's confidence, I think, is something that makes her character so incredible. It's one of my favorite things about the Fantastic Four as a whole.
Yeah.
Them shelling her and making her like leaning into the invisible thing. Don't pick Jessica Alba then, dude.
Sue's a bad character in this movie. I think.
She's awful.
I think she's probably the worst like character in the film.
And I don't blame Alba for a
No.
second. This is a classic Tandy Newton situation where the intention and I guess I get it. Oh, she's the invisible girl, so she needs to be invisible before everything happens. Then have her step out of the fucking shadows at some point, man.
Mhm.
Like have her do something. And then to the other point on that, what drags this movie down is that Griffith and Alba,
Oh,
nothing.
that's the thing. That was
Just
what I was
nothing.
mentioning earlier. Yeah.
Just nothing. And the most frustrating part about it, there are so many scenes where it's just them talking.
Yeah.
They gave them every opportunity they could to have some sort of spark, some sort of chemistry. Nothing.
That scene when they go out and they're like talking on like the bridge or whatever, it's like that is the worst scene in the movie.
It's
And that's like
tough.
they have no chemistry. Not an ounce of it. Like I mean, not even an inkling of it. Like they seem like more of the siblings, honestly. Like in a
At
way.
100%, a hundred
Yeah.
percent. A better director, I think, this isn't a shot at Tim's story. I'm sure this again, this is just kind of how these movies were made.
Yeah.
I think a more in tune comic book movie director would have realized the lack of chemistry there and focused the story elsewhere. We would have gotten less of Reed and Sue, which would have sucked in a different way, but it wouldn't have dragged the movie down
And
as
it's
much as it
like
did.
a huge part of the movie is their love story. Like I think
It's so much of it.
yeah, I mean, it's the fact that she's with Vic, and then I mean, it's so. I think this movie's also like childlike because it's like Von Doom's gonna propose to her in space.
But they were never
Really
dating.
cool scene, by the way, when it opens up and
Oh,
it's like
sure.
looking at the. I always love that scene.
Ben,
Um,
turn around.
yeah,
I
everything with
love
the
I love you gotta jump. He just jumps. Like
and
there's no indecision at
and it's like,
all.
oh, we have 5 minutes, and it's like hitting him. Like the
Yeah.
rays are like the blast, like the storm is like blasting him. Um, and the second point on like Von Doom's gonna propose, and then Reed proposes at the end of the movie. Like what?
Stupid.
When he gets down on one knee and does the like stretch thing, I'm like, how? Talk about that. That's less earned than the fight at the end. Um,
It's very dumb.
my first top play, maybe the top play of the movie. I mentioned it earlier. Chris Evans in this film as Johnny Storm is the epitome of cool. He is what
Yeah.
I thought cool was when I was 7 or 8 years old. The snowboard scene in this movie is the
With
epitome of cool.
with
Who, the nurse?
Maria Menounos, man. Come on. She's in the theaters. She's always telling us what the movies are doing.
So hot when she
Yeah.
drops the little ski
Oh,
handles.
come on,
What do
man.
you even call? I
Care to
don't
join
ski.
me?
What do you call this?
Uh the polls. There's polls.
Poles.
Yeah,
Care
yeah.
to join me? It is
Oh,
so good. Like
it's
that, the
so good.
song, this is like it oozes 2005, and in all the best ways. I absolutely love the snowboard scene. They get dumped out of a helicopter. What is happening? It is just the best. It is the best.
I think we should go about 10 feet lower. She jumps off. It's my future wife.
Yeah, it's so good.
It's
So
incredible.
charismatic, this Chris Evans guy, you
It's an
know?
all-time scene, dude. All-time scene. Care to join me? It's really great.
And
Like,
we get the feeling of his powers too. Like on top of all of
yeah.
that, we get that like, you're on fire, thanks. And then it's like, no, you're on fire. Whoa, whoa. And he
And
shoots off.
even that is just sitcom writing, but he makes it work. Hey, you're on fire. Thanks. You're pretty good too. Incredible. If you had to guess Maria Menounos' character name in this movie, what would you say?
uh
It's not a name. It's a
she,
distinction.
nurse, right?
Close.
Nurse one,
Nah. What is she?
not a nurse.
Sexy nurse.
That's what it is.
On IMDb, Maria Menounos plays sexy nurse. It's great.
You're
It's
hot.
great.
Oh, you're not too bad yourself.
Thank you. So are you. He's got the thermometer in his mouth, man. It's fucking awesome. That scene
The
kicks so much
coolest
ass,
guy.
dude. It kicks
God,
so
Chris
much
Evans.
ass. Here, join me.
Um,
Guys, you will not believe what just happened. And then he comes in so excited,
and
man.
he's got like the pink thing around his waist, and he's just jacked. Oh,
He's incredible.
he's so
He's
good.
incredible. But like even that scene, if Alba and Griffith weren't going to be this like romantic chemistry thing that we really wanted them to be, they're both still hyper attractive. Make it sexy then. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like,
yeah,
and I hate to like devalue it to that, but if the chemistry's not working, make it kind of hot.
yeah.
You know, like you could do that. Anyway, all that to say,
Yep.
this movie, fun. I enjoy it quite a bit. A 6 out of 7, and I think that's how you should look at this type of movie. Um, David feels more in line with 7 out of 7, which hey, that's the game. I
Yeah.
I love a 7 out of 7 movie.
I
Quick.
Yeah, I had a couple
Sorry.
others.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Top plays. At one point early in the movie, Victor says a line in like a British or Australian accent. He says, "Later, first, I have some unfinished business." If you go back and listen to watch the movie, it's like I don't know. He's talking to Leonard or whatever. I missed that character in these movies. By the way, we had it in
The
Spider-Man,
guy,
Batman, the little assistant guy.
just the guy.
The guy, he says it in like a non-American accent, and it really stands out. It's really funny. And then he switches back to an American accent within the scene, and they just kept that cut, which is just electric to me. One thing we haven't talked about, which I think needs to be discussed anytime this movie ever comes up in any conversation ever. Debbie, worst spouse ever, worst person ever in one of these movies.
It's tough. It's tough. It's hard to
Bad
deal with.
person, just a
Yeah.
bad person.
Sets up the stakes well though.
Doesn't
Date's a blind
even
chick.
Is scared. Yes, I get that. I would be startled as well in that
Hmm.
situation. Doesn't talk to Ben. Doesn't
No.
communicate with him at all.
Yeah.
Gets out of a car that was stuck in traffic on the Brooklyn Bridge, finds him, works her way all the way to the front just to see him again and put the ring on the ground.
Yeah.
Just the worst. I
That
think maybe
person
the worst spouse. Or I guess are they engaged? Are they married? I assume they're
engaged.
married. Oh, engaged. And a 180
So it had
outside
to be MJ.
somehow. No, not MJ. MJ's way better. Um, Debbie's the worst.
Way better. Way better is that's a statement.
Way better. Um, put a pin in that or come
Debbie.
back in a different
Debbie.
year. Um,
Fucking Debbie, dude.
Debbie has had to have painters
Yeah.
outside of her apartment complex put
Uh-huh.
up a sign that says
Uh-huh.
"Welcome home."
Yeah.
The 180 is incredible. She's talking about the present she has for him a second before she sees the thing. I mean, I guess it plays in the fact of like what a freak the thing is and like trying to give us that idea. Just the worst spouse ever, I think.
Yeah, it's
I think
bad.
it's just Debbie's just the worst.
Yeah. All right. Any more top plays? Because I do have some inside baseball.
We mentioned it, but just the X game sequence.
It's hilarious.
I love it.
The naming of everybody. Yep. Oh, fucking the final shot. Fantastic Four in the
Yeah.
air. Come on.
See it again
Incredible.
soon in theaters, hopefully.
Chris Evans, man. Just the best.
Mr.
Just
Sensitive.
so good in this movie, man. It's incredible. Some inside baseball.
Yeah,
Did
let's do
you
it.
do you know about the 1994 Fantastic Four movie? Do you know anything about that?
Yes, the fact that it was fully in development. I think they filmed a good amount of it and it never released.
They filmed the whole damn thing.
Whole thing. Okay.
They made a whole movie, and it was never intended to be released. The idea was we need to
Hmm.
make this movie and put it through production in order to hold on to the IP contractually. The plan was never to release the movie, and they didn't tell anyone, including the actors, who did not find out anything was wrong until right before the premiere that was canceled at the very last second. There was a whole premiere set up at the Mall of America for this movie. The actors hired publicists on their own dime to promote this movie. And then a couple days before the premiere, got a cease and desist letter to not talk about the movie at all. We're going to can the whole thing.
Wow.
Just bizarre.
Is
You
it
can watch the
available?
whole you can
Okay.
watch the whole movie on YouTube.
Okay.
It was made for $1 million. It looks like an episode of Power Rangers.
Yeah.
The low budget situation. It was never intended to do anything. They paid $1 million essentially to keep the rights to Fantastic Four.
What was the rights then? Because this was 1994. Like, who
Mm-hmm.
even owned the rights? What even
Some German production company. I don't even
German?
know.
Because they sell the rights in
To
99.
20th Century Fox.
Yeah.
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 It's very weird. It's very
Fascinating.
weird.
That is
Now,
fascinating.
that's not the only behind the scenes struggles with the Fantastic Four franchise. This movie happens, $333 million, enough for Fox to say, hey, let's make another, right?
Yep.
That movie does less, so they say, hey, let's start over. Shout out to Fox for waiting 8 years before putting out another Fantastic Four movie. Sony could never wait that long. They would have to get it out as quickly as possible and reboot everything. Got it. They at least let it breathe. They gave
To be
Fan
fair,
Forstick a chance.
to be fair, I am pretty sure that Sony has to release a Spider-Man movie every 5 years to keep the rights.
That's dumb. Because also, why do they release them every 2 years then?
Yeah.
Why did we get all these bad movies?
Yeah, because it was supposed to be what? Spider-Man 4 was 2011, and then they had to get TASM out ultimately in 2012 to keep it.
I'm not even talking about the Tasman. I'm talking about the Spider-Verse stuff.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
100%.
Anyway, not
Yep.
Spider-Verse, the Venom-verse, whatever.
Sony's Spider-Man universe, yeah.
2015's Fan Forstick. Genuinely one of the
Brutal.
worst comic book movies I've ever seen. I pride myself on I've seen virtually every single comic book movie that has ever been made since 1978. This is one of the most unwatchable ones. And I didn't know the backstory behind it until recently. The director, Trank, something
Hmm.
Trank is his last name. He wanted to make this gory body
Josh
horror,
Trank.
yeah, body horror, like grounded, gritty version of the Fantastic Four. This is right in the middle of the DCEU, TASM, darker,
Oh,
grittier versions of
the dark
superheroes
is
was
here. Yeah.
with anything different than Marvel was what people were trying to do,
Yep.
right? The MCU rather. The first half of the movie is that. It's boring and slow, but it's that,
Mhm.
right? Then the studio got a hold of the movie and said, no, no, no. We need a big, bombastic popcorn superhero flick. We need to do exactly what the MCU is doing. So the second half of this movie is reshot to death, rewritten to death. They're rewriting on set, completely edited to fucking water.
Bits. Yeah.
Yeah. And now it's two completely different movies in the worst part, right in the middle, pretty much right the middle part of the movie. It says 1 year later, and then everything changes. First half of the movie pretty much doesn't matter anymore, and the second half of the movie is what it is.
Yeah.
Truly unwatchable.
Yeah.
Um,
I've always said that
so this
movie doesn't have a second act. It has a first
no,
act and then a third act.
and the fact that they do a 1 year later in order to tie those two acts together puts a spotlight on everything wrong with it.
Oh my gosh.
You
Yeah.
know,
Hour and
so
40 minutes, that movie.
good for them.
But
All
it's
that to be said,
missing an act. It's
sure.
missing, like you said, the 1 year later thing. It's just brutal.
All that to be said, the Fantastic Four movie franchise has had a turmoiled past. They made Galactus a cloud, awful.
Sure did.
But First Steps, based on the trailers, seems to be directly addressing all the biggest problems that we've had with the Fantastic Four so far.
Yeah.
Fantastic Four 2025, that was the peak of this franchise so far. That's the most fun we've had with the Fantastic Four in theaters
Hmm.
so far. Silver Surfer kind of ruined it, and
The
it's
movie's
been nothing
not
but
good.
chaos since, right?
Yeah.
Now we have First Steps. If this doesn't work, we might not ever get the Fantastic Four in theaters again.
It'll work. I'm confident.
That's what the idea is. Check
You're
out
right,
our
though.
review later.
You're
Yeah,
right.
check out our review later this week for Fantastic Four First Steps. David, it's Fantastic Four week. Are you excited?
I am so excited, man. Seeing this movie soon. Um, yeah, I like you said, the stakes are high. Like as you just put it, the stakes truly are high. We just went through this a little bit with Superman, and Superman did the thing. Now it's Fantastic Four's turn. We knew this was coming. We knew it was coming the whole way, and it's finally here. Like once again, it's like this July. It's come. It's going. It's about to be gone, and it's fun to be here, living through it. And I just really hope that they're able to do the thing that Matt Shackman did it. Let's see. And once again, by the way, another sub 2 hour runtime for a Fantastic Four movie. They just can't help themselves.
We'll see.
I know. I'm a little nervous about that, man. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think we have a chance to talk about that beforehand, but I am a little nervous about that.
It'll be interesting. You ready for a sentence full of puns to close us out here?
Oh, yeah.
Will Marvel Studios finally do the thing and be fantastic? Or will this franchise continue to be doomed? Huh?
I thought you were gonna say flame out. Ah, that's good. That's
Huh?
good. It's perfect. Will
Ladies and
Doom
gentlemen, for
appear
Dave,
in first steps? Boom, boom,
that's
boom,
the
boom.
big question. For David, I'm Matt. Until then, see you next time.